Gaming as of late has been in a very interesting spot. It's had more ups and downs than I've had when I was in middle to high school. And, some are good, some are bad, most are bad. But let's go with the good first, right? We have Space Marine 2 that's coming out September 9th. Very excited for that. We have Deadlock, which Deadlock is a Valve game. It's a 6v6 like third person shooter hero style MOBA game. And recently, when I was playing with my friends, we discovered that no one was posting about it. And that's because Valve basically had an NDA to all their players saying that, hey, please do not share this game. If you do, you will be banned and all footage will be deleted. And it didn't even have a Steam page. The store page that you could get Deadlock from wasn't even a thing until recently. And now the game is extremely popular and it is a very fun game. I am really proud of Valve for this one, surprisingly. But like yin and yang, there can't be some good without some bad. And oh boy, these bads are really low. These stinkers are stinking up the entire room. So let's get into it. Do you remember the game named Gollum? Sorry. I know it's like Voldemort. I can't speak of the game's name without at least one person cringing their ass off. But Gollum was a game released last year in 2023 that had a concurrent peak of around 750 and 760 players. This game was so bad, it made the studio that made it shut down from the negative reception it got. This game was so rushed and it was so terribly optimized, and it was just, the gameplay was so awful. I didn't play it, but I've watched a ton of other people play it because, morbid curiosity, right? It was god awful. It was terrible. That was last year, right? Last year, 2023 was a very terrible year for gaming. Now, lately, we've been coming back. We've been making a few steps in the right direction, especially Space Marine 2. I know I'm mentioning this game, but I'm getting into the Warhammer 40k universe recently. I'm so excited. But lately there's been 2 atomic bombs that have dropped on the video game industry. And these 2 games are some that you probably haven't even heard of yet. Concord and Dustborn. Now let's just get the lesser of 2 evils out of the way. Dustborn. Dustborn on release has had a max concurrent player count within like the first 24 hours of its release of less than 100. With the first 24 hours of the release of Dustborn, they have had less than 100 current players. I think their max was like 97 or something. So not even 100 players within the 24 hours that this game was released were interested enough to play this game. And this was a game that was announced at game shows. This was a game that was announced at like specific events for these kinds of games. But what it is it's a very cringe and very inclusive story and combat driven music game where you are the Dustborn and you play as a crew of mixed matched people and you go around doing stuff to other people. And in the game, there is a trigger mechanic where, you guessed it, you can trigger people. I, again, don't know too much, but I do know that combat system looks terrible. The story writing is awfully cringe, and there's a ton of dialogue you can't skip. So you take cringiness with dialogue you can't skip, and it's like trying to walk out of your house during an event, and that one random family member you've never met in your entire life comes up to you and says, "Oh, I remember how you were a little toddler, and I used to throw you the ball in the back, or you used to fall in the river, or whatnot." It's unskippable dialogue. But what I really want to focus on is the second game that I mentioned, or actually the first game, I can't really remember. Concord. Concord is it's a 5v5 first-person shooter, hero-style, plant the bomb, defuse the bomb type game. Really, really original, right? It's not like we don't have tons of those already. It's not like CSGO or Valorant or even Roblox exists. Like, come on, guys. This game was made by Sony, and the budget for this game, oh man. Sources say that Concord took $50 to $150 million to develop. $50 to $150 million. You know what I could do with that kind of money? I could buy like 15, 20 Koenigseggs. That is a crazy amount of money for, wait for it, 697 people on launch day. 600, they didn't even break the 700 people barrier. So that means that as of now, they're paying roughly $200,000 for each person playing the game with the amount of money they put into development. That is terrible. And the funny thing is that they had this Concord game, right? It had a closed beta. Not enough people signed up for the closed beta to play this game, so they had to make it an open beta. And then still not enough people opened up to play this game. That I have no idea what the target audience for this game is. Like who wants to play this game? I mean, clearly no one, because not enough people signed up for the closed beta. Like, that's just beyond ridiculous. And to add insult to injury, of course, with these kinds of games and these salty developers, there's going to be drama. So, Anim_Xander or FreeGunnerM on X said it's Concord release day. So insanely proud of the team and what they and we have accomplished. A labor of love like nothing else. Been playing it so much since early access started a few days ago, and I'm so excited for it to be available to everyone. You know, classic developer statement, right? You know, like what could go wrong? You know, a person posting something about their game, how proud they are on a very popular, the most popular social media platform. You know, no one's going to make fun of him, right? No one's going to give him some negative feedback, right? Well, of course not. People love to give negative feedback on the internet, especially when your game is trash. So you know what the developer's response to some negative feedback was? Let me read it to you. I don't really care. It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I don't have the tweet that this guy is responding to, this douchebag, but honestly, I don't even think I need the tweet, because the context is the person that responded to this developer dude, whatever kind of jackass he is, he basically said, you know, there's like less than 700 people playing this game. Obviously, it wasn't a very good game. And then this guy just calls us, the consumers, talentless freaks. Sorry, but what are you talking about? I don't think I've ever heard something more hypocritical in my entire life. That's, I don't know, there's something about that, right? Something about that doesn't really sit right with me, if I'm going to be completely honest. So aside from all the drama, aside from the low player count, aside from all these things, I want to know why people are not playing games like Dustborn and Concord. And I think I know why. I've mentioned many times on my channel before that I play video games as an escape. I play video games to get away from the stressfulness of real life and to basically be someone or something I'm not. Like the entire premise of why I'm so excited to be a Space Marine is because the universe of Warhammer 40k doesn't exist. I said be a Space Marine, I meant play a Space Marine. I want to play Space Marine because I want to be a Space Marine. You know, like I said, the universe of Warhammer 40k is not real. I hope it's not real. And so I'm going to play Space Marine 2 like I'm role-playing, essentially. Like I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I'm a big Space Marine wearing this massive armor, shooting these big bugs, these big aliens. What I'm trying to get at is that people play video games to be something they're not, to escape the reality that they're in. And when you present themselves with these games like Dustborn and Concord, no one wants to be these people. No one wants to be this fat person with a ton of makeup on, or this disgusting alien with no clothes on. Like, no one wants to be those people. If you're fat in real life, the last thing you want to do if you like video games is play as a fat character. I mean, hey, listen, you ask me, that's just my thought. And, you know, I don't mean to get into this kind of territory, but I do think that inclusivity and that strive for including every single stereotype is the primary downfall of these kinds of games. Also, just a lack of consumer want in general, because we already have so many 5 versus 5 first-person tactical shooters that involve, you know, planting and defusing a bomb, right? We have so many of those already. And don't get me wrong, there are some things that I really like about Concord. It's taken the tactical 5v5 bomb defusal perspective, it's added a more arcadey rhythm to it. You can move more when you aim down sights, and the time to kill is a lot longer. I really like that. I saw that and I was like, huh, you know, that doesn't look too bad actually. And the graphics also, they don't look too bad. But am I going to play it? No, I'm not going to play it. Because the final nail in the coffin for Concord is that it is $40. When you have a game that had not enough people to play the closed beta, so they had to make it an open beta, and then on release they charge you 40 slams, 40 big ones, 40 doubloons to play this game that not enough people want to play. What are you doing? I'm the talentless freak. The consumers are the talentless freaks. Wow. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that, again, this is a Sony game. It's been in development for 8 years. 8 years. 8 years, $150 million with a $40 price tag, and it has a less tip-top player count than 700. It couldn't breach 700 concurrent players at one time. This is, I think, arguably, no, this is worse than Gollum. because Gollum had more people playing it at once. Gollum had a higher max player count within 24 hours. Now, will this make Sony shut down? No. No, it will not, because Sony is massive. So unfortunately, this isn't going to do really anything to them. And now the only attention that Concord is getting as a game is from sponsorships. Streamers, YouTubers are playing it because they're sponsored by Sony, in Sony's hopes to get the game in the limelight, you know, but I don't believe that's going to happen anytime soon. And if I'm going to be honest, I need a hero, you know, we really need a good game to come out. And I'm going to mention it for the third time. I'm going 3 for 3, baby. Space Marine 2 is coming out September 9th. Should be in 10 days, 15 days. Excuse me. I'm stupid. I just woke up. 15 days until we all get to play as brutal, massive, hulking Space Marines that just rip through aliens and just destroy stuff. Like, oh, I'm so excited. But, you know, of course, I have to wake up with an awful taste in my mouth from these disgusting games that I originally thought were going to be pretty cool, but nope. So all in all, don't play these games. You know, I mean, you can if you want, but you're supporting people who don't know what they're doing. So generally a good idea to stay away from that. But, you know, for now, stay safe.